All right, face it. Everybody's been talking about whether it's at the water cooler or whatever else. Caitlyn Jenner, and she will make her first scheduled public appearance at the ESPY Awards in July. She's going to get the Arthur Ashe Courage Award. It's given out annually to people who transcend sports. Just to give you a frame of reference, the past couple winners, Robin Roberts, who of course battled breast cancer, a rare blood disease, and Michael Sam, the first openly gay player to be drafted by the NFL. Okay, before I get to the games, anybody got a problem with her being awarded that? Because I saw some people saying that's fine, but when we're putting her in the league with that for what is a personal decision, is that defined as courageous or not? I think it took a lot of guts. What do you think?
It's not just a personal decision. I have some transgender friends, and it is like literally they feel like they cannot live their lives anymore in the way that they were originally constructed, and it's a necessity. It's not. The term personal choice gets bandied about a lot because I think a lot of people live in denial who have gender dysphoria or dysphoria and never do anything about it. It does take a lot of courage to do what she's doing. Look, any of the four of us want to wear a dress on the air one day. I mean, that's it's a gross oversimplification of the process, but we don't.
I was going to say I talk Dom out of it three times a week, but yeah.
We don't because it's embarrassing and would be somewhat humiliating, would get heckled and all that sort of thing. And
yep.
You know, transgender people are making that change openly and in front of the world, and she's doing it on a grander stage than anybody else.
You know, Scott, one of the things that surprised me, and I'm pleasantly surprised, was the lack of backlash or stupid remarks that have followed this. And after the interview, too, that she gave to Diane Sawyer, we have seen the velocity of gay marriage. I mean, take our president even for that matter. He didn't want to, it was the third rail of politics, didn't want to talk about it. Then all of a sudden Joe Biden says something, he comes out for it. Now you got to be careful if you're a politician of any party to come out against it because you're going to see not only as backward in the polls. Do we think transgender acceptance will have the same, and I'll use the word velocity again in terms of support?
I think it will, just based on this sea change, which it has been on this whole issue of sexuality. I personally don't follow the Kardashians or Jenner. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's too much for too much. She made a decision. That's fine. I mean, let's move on already. But having said that, there is a much greater recognition, I think, of those who, in fact, believe their sexuality issues, or they're transgender or they're gay or what have you. So I think you're right, Richard. I think we've seen this just continually and really presumptively change over the last 5 years, maybe.
Yeah.
And except there are Twitter comments that you don't want to refer to.
Of course there are. But you know what? Where I expected the stupid radio hosts to be doing all this, there was actually measured remarks and whatever. I'm even talking on conservative. I didn't watch too much of it, listen too much of it. But what I've heard, where wouldn't have been the case 5, 10 years ago, whether it be on gay rights issues or even this, you surprised?
No, support for gay rights, and perhaps rightfully so, has become the latest third rail of politics. That's why you're not hearing radio folks talk about it, because they do so at their own peril and could lose their very lucrative career. I fully support rights for transgender people. They go through an awful time and inner conflict. But I'm not like you. I don't know if this is what you were saying. I'm not really a fan of the Kardashians. I believe that they have lowered standards in society to levels that we won't ever be able to comprehend. And I'm serious. And I do wonder if this is just a publicity stunt. I really do.
No, you don't go to this degree for it. Yeah.
But the problem, that's what I was trying to say. I mean, the problem is they've made it a publicity stunt. I mean, if it's a personal decision and
to be fair to him, he separated himself somewhat, and he's going to have a reality show, but he separated himself from that. Gentlemen, thank you all very much. And you at home, weigh in on this conversation. And here's our question. Go over to Facebook and Twitter to give your answer. Do you think Bruce Jenner's transformation into Caitlyn is courageous? We'll get to some of those comments later in the week. Up next, our Hudson Valley headlines.